You know, when you say ninja,
Hmm.
it just brings up these really intense images, doesn't it? Like shadowy figures, incredible skills, often lethal. It's this almost legendary reputation.
Absolutely. And that's really where we're starting today's deep dive with this book, Ninja Hands of Death by Ashida Kim.
Yeah, and what's interesting isn't just the title, it's the sheer range of stuff Kim covers.
Mhm.
You've got fighting stances, submission holds.
Right through to pretty deep philosophical ideas about the whole ninja mindset is quite broad.
So what grabbed us and what we really want to dig into based on the sources isn't just like a surface skim of ninja stories.
No, we're going deep into some very specific and honestly pretty intense parts of the book. The idea is to get past just describing moves and try to grasp the core principles.
And maybe find some surprises in there about this whole approach to self-defense.
Hopefully, you were keen on looking at Kata Dante, Dance of the Deadly Hands specifically.
Exactly that, yeah. And the self-defense concepts around it, but also maybe touch on the wider ninjutsu philosophy Kim talks about.
And it's worth mentioning how Kata Dante supposedly came about. According to the book, this figure, Count Juan Rafael Dante,
Ah, yes, Count Dante.
he's presented as the one who basically picked out the most, well, devastating ninja techniques he knew.
And sort of distilled them.
Exactly, distilled them into this single form, presented as this like super efficient self-defense method. The book really pushes its effectiveness in ending a fight quickly.
Right. So this isn't going to be just a summary. We're planning to sift through, pull out the most fascinating bits, the insightful stuff.
And just talk it through, right? Make
Yeah.
it clear, keep it engaging without getting lost in every single tiny detail.
Perfect. Okay, let's dive into this kata dante, Dance of the Deadly Hands.
Mhm.
The book starts with kata. That's a word people might know Japanese for dance.
Yeah, but the dance idea here is really interesting historically in martial arts. Think about times when practicing deadly moves openly was risky.
Or a master wanting to preserve their secrets.
Precisely. So kata became this way to like record and pass on skills publicly in these sequences that looked kind of harmless.
A sort of code. Practicing without revealing the real, lethal application hidden inside the movements.
You got it. So when you see kata dante, which means dance of the deadly hands, well, that tells you something straight away.
Definitely not ballroom dancing.
No. The book credits Count Dante with creating it, popularizing it. It's framed as this fusion of the most, well, vicious ninja techniques
Yeah.
purely for self-defense.
And the goal is explicitly stated. Neutralize an enemy. Fast and effectively.
And the claims about what's in kata dante are pretty wild. It supposedly uses every major hand weapon from kung fu and karate.
So it's like all the ways you can hit someone with your hands?
Seems to be the implication. Plus, it's meant to target every major vital and fatal point on the body. Ruthless efficiency seems to be the theme.
Okay, but here's a claim that really made me pause. The book suggests you only need, like, an hour studying it.
Yeah, it says even just reading the section 3 times gives you some level of protection against attackers.
That's a bold claim. For techniques this deadly, it suggests they're meant to be grasped really quickly.
It certainly points to how direct and focused the claimed lethality is. And then there's the Black Dragon Fighting Society.
They have that requirement.
Perform all 27 movements in under 10 seconds. It wasn't just about knowing the moves, it was about developing that speed, strength, and intense focus needed to make them work for real.
10 seconds. Wow. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty then. The first thing is the stance, the hidden hand stance, or mikendachi. What's the deal with that?
Think relaxed readiness. Feet shoulder width, knees slightly bent gives you balance, spring.
Uh-huh.
Hands are loose at your waist, eyes on the potential threat. The key is it doesn't look aggressive.
So you're ready, balanced to move anyway, react instantly. But you're not signaling, I'm about to attack.
Exactly. Prepared, but not escalating things visually.
And the book really stresses this whole kata dante thing is purely self-defense.
Right. You only start it after the other person makes the first aggressive move.
It even links it to the fire element in ninja philosophy. Direct, linear, confrontational.
That fire element connection says a lot. It's meeting force with force, straight on, decisively. Very different from, say, evasion or misdirection tactics you might associate with ninjas.
So the first actual technique described is the mirror block.
Yeah.
Against a right punch. Sounds fundamental.
Key thing here. You move into the attack. Might feel counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
You want to back away.
Yeah, normally.
But here, you step forward inside their punch and use this mirror palm block. You're deflecting, but also striking their inner forearm.
Aiming for.
the radial and ulnar nerves, to numb their arm, disrupt their attack. Or, the book says, even use the edge of your hand to break the arm bone itself.
Break the bone, just with the block. And mirror block. That name's not just random, is it?
No, good point. As you block, your stance kind of mirrors the attackers. Psychologically, it's like reflecting their aggression right back.
So the ninja is portrayed as calm, no fear, no anger, just reacting.
Exactly. Placing the blame, so to speak, on the attacker. And it's not just the arm block. Simultaneously, your left leg circles forward, protecting your groin. Left knee blocks their knee, maybe jams it, and your left heel stamps down hard on their right foot.
Pinning them, breaking bones in the foot, all at once.
That's the idea. Attack and defense all woven together. Block, control, injure, all in that first instant.
Man, that's a lot happening in a split second. Okay,
Yeah.
next up. The dragon palm strike. What's this one?
So you've just done the mirror block, maybe your weight shifted back slightly. Now, boom, you shift forward powerfully into a forward-leaning stance.
Gankutsudachi.
Right. And the main thing is driving the heel of your right hand straight up their chest, hitting them hard under the chin from below.
The book calls it the simplest and most effective hand weapon, says armies use it. And the idea of sliding it up the chest makes it an invisible fist.
Yeah, like they won't see it coming from down low. You can't easily block it. The hand shape is specific too, the dragon fist.
How's that formed?
Middle and ring fingers slightly bent, index and little slightly extended. Thumb curled up. Exposes the strong palm heel for the strike.
But keeps the fingers ready for what's next.
Exactly. And you twist your hips into it. If they're coming at you, meeting their momentum doubles the force. The described effects are pretty brutal.
Like whiplash, shattered teeth.
Jaw dislocation, torn nose, even unconsciousness from shock to the brainstem, the medulla oblongata.
Okay, that's already devastating, but the follow-up is ripping out the eyeballs. Seriously.
Yeah, it escalates quickly. Right after that upward palm strike, the fingers rake down across their face, using fingernails to claw the eyes, tear the skin.
Causing temporary blindness, disorientation at least.
Right. This ripping, tearing action is presented as maybe more damaging and easier in a chaotic fight than trying for precise eye pokes.
The detail is graphic, shoving fingers into the sockets to dislodge the eyeballs, then grabbing and ripping them out.
It is. The book does say this is extreme, likely rare, even historically, but it uses it to show the level of anatomical study involved, understanding how to disable someone.
Makes sense. Eyes are incredibly sensitive. It even mentions other techniques just to make someone blink.
And this dragon palm, upward strike, then downward claw, is called an invisible fist. Again, partly because they're blinded now, can't see what's coming next.
Okay, moving on. Tiger claw fist.
Yeah.
Left. How's this different?
As your right hand comes back from the eye attack, your left hand slides down their arm and hits the right side of their face with an inverted tiger claw.
Hand shape.
All fingertips, including the thumb, are slightly curled in, like a claw. Heel of the hand hits first, setting up the fingers for a grab and tear. The tiger part is using all 5 fingertips.
And the impact target.
Back of their jawbone. Aiming to dislocate or break the TMJ, the jaw hinge, also numbs the face, snaps the head left, more neck injury potential.
And right after the hit.
Fingers curl up, dig into the face. Thumb under the jaw, middle finger in the mouth corner, little finger at the eye corner, others pinching the cheek or ear.
What?
A snap tear motion. Twist and rip the flesh away from the bone. The book notes cheek skin is thin, ears aren't strongly attached. Says it's surprisingly effective, gruesome as it sounds.
Grim. It then mentions old training methods for hand strength, like carrying jars with fingertips.
Yeah, carrying sand or water jars, juggling lead shot sacks with a clawing motion to build that specific kind of strength.
Then comes the tiger claw fist. Just a mirror image.
Pretty much. While still tearing with the left, you swing your hips the other way, counterclockwise for power. Strike their left cheek with the right tiger claw, same goal.
And the book links this to a military idea.
Flanking attacks, hitting from 2 sides at once, symbolized by the 2 tiger claws.
It also brings up how people naturally cover their face when attacked.
Right, and says Kata Dante tries to beat that reaction with sheer speed, and also with locking techniques, which we'll get to.
And makes the point that kata isn't just physical moves, it's like a book-teaching strategy.
Yeah, strategy and tactics. And visualizing doing it successfully builds fighting spirit. That mental preparation is key.
Okay, next is the serpentine arm lock. Sounds like a shift from striking to controlling.
It is. Left arm scoops under their right arm, trapping their elbow in the crook of your arm. That's the entwining serpentine part.
Got it. Then what?
Reach over, dig fingers into their biceps, pressure on the brachial artery to numb the arm, cut off blood flow, or reach deeper into the armpit. Hit the nerve bundle there, the median nerve, try to deaden the arm that way.
So it could be a control hold, like a come along, or just restrain them, set them up for more hits.
Both. It mentions using it to escape a side headlock too. And it brings up the principle of sucker punching,
Which here means
holding on tight so they can't get away, and you can pull them into the next hits, making them stronger, using the trapped arm like grabbing clothing or hair.
and from this lock, a takedown would be easy.
Relatively simple, yeah. Pivot and slam them down.
Okay, following the arm lock. Ripping out the throat, another charming name.
While keeping the arm lock, your right hand shoots forward, strikes the throat with the web of your hand between thumb and forefinger. Small tiger's mouth fist.
Just the impact
Yeah.
is meant to injure nerves, blood vessels.
Yeah, even a light hit causes gagging, coughing. A hard one could knock them out. It goes into detail about forcing the tongue back.
Tearing the hypoglossal artery, choking on blood. That's specific.
Very. It also mentions a less lethal control pressure on the mastoid process, that bone behind the ear, for pain compliance.
And the extreme version.
Digging fingers into the trachea, thumb behind the neck, close fist, twist and rip. Mentions pro wrestlers know a safer version.
Jeez. Okay, next. Monkey stealing a peach. Sounds playful, but I bet it isn't.
Not at all. Still in the arm lock, right hand swings down hard, underhanded arc into the groin, targeting the pubic arch.
Claims that blow alone can fracture bones there. Cripple them?
That's the claim. Makes walking impossible. And the follow-up. The strike positions your hand perfectly to grab the genitals.
With a dragon claw, tiger claw, or shovel strike.
Yeah, shovel strike hand shape is like scooping dirt upward. It suggests practicing with golf balls in a sock for the feel of the intended snap tear action.
Strike, grip, twist, rip, upward and back. The name comes from a monkey snatching a peach.
Apparently. Mentions Roman soldiers and Zulu warriors using similar groin attacks too.
So after that, they're probably doubled over. Then comes the elbow stroke, horizontal.
Right. Bring your right elbow around horizontally into their sternum, the breastbone. Power comes from shoulder and hip torque, snapping back the other way after the groin strike.
Striking surface is the point of the elbow, all the Cranon process.
Exactly. Small, hard point delivers a focused blow, knocks the wind out, causes unconsciousness, targets the solar plexus, and that little bone at the bottom of the sternum.
The xiphoid process.
Yeah, warns it could snap off, drive into the diaphragm, damage the phrenic nerve, suffocation. Notes controlled elbows are used in karate sparring.
Then the elbow stroke, vertical. What's the setup for that?
You pull your right arm across your body, like towards your opposite shoulder. This drags the weakened opponent forward after the horizontal elbow hit.
The book notes these three targets, groin, sternum, now neck, are all part of a rapid sequence.
Right, like a boxer's combo. This vertical elbow follows immediately. As they fall forward, still partly held, you bring the elbow up and then smash it down onto the back of their neck.
Target is base of skull, back of neck.
Yeah. Described as potentially crushing the skull base, separating vertebrae, severing the spinal cord, paralysis or death. Says accuracy isn't vital, the whole area is vulnerable.
Mentions a variation too. Hammer and anvil strike.
Knee to the face at the same time as the elbow comes down. Brutal.
Okay, then we get to the elbow breaker. Sounds like joint destruction.
That's the aim. Pivot sharp on your left foot, step back right, turn hips and shoulders for leverage. Use the arm lock, you still have to slam them down hard.
This hyperextends the elbow, a straight arm bar.
Exactly, like in Aikido or Judo. Book says the force often just snaps the elbow, but just in case.
You follow up.
Strike the joint itself with the edge of your hand shudo, hand-sold strike, aiming to snap off the elbow point, the olecranon process, cripple the arm completely.
Mentions arm breaks are common for control in judo, but emphasizes the extreme pain of a broken elbow.
It does. Also talks about the principles. Appropriate force, using leverage. Even suggests options like pushing the shoulder while holding the arm bar or ripping the biceps muscle.
Which leads into breaking the shoulder. Logical next step.
Seems so. While keeping the arm bar, strike down hard on the back of their shoulder. Goal is anterior dislocation, forcing the upper arm bone forward out of the socket.
That sounds incredibly painful. Torn muscles, tendons, nerve damage.
For sure. Book mentions shoulder dislocations happen in Aikido practice, and there are ways to reset them safely, but
Here, it's intentional injury. It says even with a broken elbow, the arm can be used as a lever for this.
Yeah. Also notes the ninja is kneeling now, can use their knee on the opponent's back or ribs for more control. It's all about total incapacitation.
Next target. Breaking the neck.
Ugh.
Very direct.
Powerful chop, sword hand or shudo again, aimed at the 7th cervical vertebra base of the neck or the base of the skull.
Says striking there can separate vertebrae, sever the spinal cord.
That's the claim. And it includes that interesting bit about Count Dante and the secret brick breaking method.
Right, the leverage idea. Misaligning the vertebrae slightly makes it easier to break with a sharp blow.
Exactly. Presented as a way to practice the death blow without killing and a test of technique. Mentions force needed for a brick versus a pine board.
Okay, the next two are stomps. Opponents down, probably face down. First is double dragon stomp, back.
You release your hold, spring up, knees to chest, then slam both heels down hard onto their back and spine.
Targets.
One heel on hips lower back, the other on the base of the neck.
Injury sound. Catastrophic. Separated vertebrae, crushed chest, ruptured heart, broken spine, hips, internal damage from bone fragments.
Yeah, devastating. Mentions a historical name, similarity to the Bronco kick, taught by Colm Fairbairn. Stresses needing a wide, stable stance, like horse riding stance, for balance.
Then the second stomp. Double ear slap neck breaker. Starts with grinding the heels.
While standing on their back, pivot on your heels, grinding them in, then slap down hard over both ears with cupped palms.
Effect of the ear slap.
Ruptured eardrums, severe vertigo, permanent hearing balance loss possible, intracranial bleeding, fractured jaw joint or mastoid process behind the ear.
And the neck breaker part.
Grab their ears, tiger or dragon claw, grip jerk the head back hard, hyperextend the throat, aiming to jam or snap vertebrae, tear arteries, veins. Similar effect to the earlier chin jab palm heel.
Mentions a combat variation. Knee in the back for leverage, sentry removal.
Yes. And if the neck doesn't break, there's the brain buster.
Okay, what's the brain buster?
Use the head grip and hyperextended neck to smash their forehead straight down onto the ground.
Even without a skull fracture, the brain hits the back of the skull, concussion, then bounces forward hitting the front, contre coup.
Exactly. Ruptured blood vessels, swelling, bruising inside the skull. Says the ideal impact point is the third eye acupuncture spot, connects it to the pineal gland, meditation.
Notes a similar effect from a knuckle strike between the eyes, or boxers toughening their foreheads.
Right. Okay, next is a throw. Shoulder and hip throw.
How does that work?
Right foot beside their body. Grab their left shoulder and hip or armpit and thigh. Step back left, lower your hips, pull hard to roll them over onto their back.
Says it works on a standing opponent too, like
Yeah.
whipping them over.
Yeah, but here opponent's probably unconscious or mangled, so it's more about repositioning them, using leverage. Compares it to snapping a rug.
Notes the kata might end with punching the ground, and a tiger mouth strike variation. Might need to kick an arm out of the way.
All mentioned as possibilities or details of the execution.
Which sets up another stomp. Double dragon stomp front.
Now they're on their back. Jump up, land both feet on their lower belly and chest.
Targets. Throat-crushing windpipe against spine. And the tantine point in the lower abdomen, causing hernia, intestinal rupture.
That's what it says. Mentions twisting heels on impact for more damage. Variation, hitting the solar plexus to burst the heart.
Emphasizes these targets are all on the center line of the body. Anatomy focus from Count Dante.
Correct. Then it contrasts kata practice with boring drills, highlighting the mental exercise side.
Next is the knee drop.
Leap up, come down with your right knee onto their neck, chest, or face.
Potential injuries. Crushed throat, sternum, skull, brainstem compression or rupture. Instant death.
That's the potential outcome described. Mentions Shaolin monks practicing this on a pillow in a box for accuracy.
Claims the injury descriptions are based on combat records. And talks about overcoming hesitation.
Yes, the psychological aspect, but reiterates these techniques need years of precise practice. Contrasts kata's no-impact focus on speed form with bag or partner training. Mentions a shin strike to the throat variation, too.
We're near the end now. Double thumb gouge.
Poised above them, drive both thumbs hard into the eyes. Potential permanent blindness by displacing the eyeballs sideways.
Another invisible fist. Simultaneous attack they can't see or stop.
That's the idea. At the same time, grab their ears with curled fingertips. Potential to rip them off with that snap-tear technique. Permanent disfigurement.
Says this works standing, too. Or thumbs into the mouth to rip cheeks, dislocate jaw.
All variations mentioned. Notes on the ground, the force can smash cheekbones, damage the trigeminal nerve. Mentions boxers using a single thumb gouge, but gloves make displacing the eye unlikely.
Penultimate move. Double inverted tiger claw.
Drive both hands down diagonally, inverted from the thumb gouge position. Thumbs might still go for azimuth, fingers grip, and claw surrounding tissue.
Why include this?
Book suggests it shows needing to reach around for hold sometimes. Quotes Dante describing it as tear away remaining flesh, but admits there probably isn't much left by now.
Mentions a reverse tiger claw variation. Crossed wrists. And these tiger fists are in the Shantung Black Tiger system.
Yes. Discusses tiger symbolism for fighting spirit, tiger as reactive, dragon as initiating, yin-yang pairs like tiger crane, dragon phoenix.
And the very last technique of kata dante, palm heel strike.
Final downward strike to what's left of the face, aiming for the nose, trying to crush the skull between your hand and the floor.
Highlights fragile sinus bones, potential to sever the brainstem.
Yeah. Also debunks the karate myth about the nasal septum penetrating the brain. Says it's cartilage, can't happen.
So this is the final coup de grace. Emphasizes every single one of the 27 techniques could kill or cripple.
Absolutely. Stresses self-defense isn't sport, it's survival. Mentions ninjutsu also includes escape and stealth, adrenaline's role.
Reiterates kata dante as one side, the becoming strong side, focused on direct self-defense, not fancy moves.
And the whole thing, done right, is meant to be one smooth 5-second motion, though few reach that speed. Black Dragon Society needed under 10 seconds.
Concludes it's a savage and terrifying form, 27 deadly techniques guaranteed to incapacitate.
Yeah. It touches on martial arts history in America. Pretenders claiming deadly hands, says Kata Dante proves hands can be lethal weapons.
Ashida Kim claims he's done these. Says anyone can with knowledge. Mentions his army background, combat experience.
All in there. Finally, frames Kata Dante as just one way to deal with aggression, the confrontational fire element, way before moving on to escape and stealth in the next section.
And there's that quote.
Oh yeah, the bone dry and bottle empty one. A cogless, meshless automaton, with only your hands to give death to men. Really stark.
But then it shifts, right, to philosophy.
Right after. Emphasizes learning to heal, avoiding conflict, using force only as a last resort. A definite shift in tone.
So wrapping up this deep dive on kata dante, it's pretty clear these are not your average self-defense moves. The intensity, the claimed effectiveness, it's striking, to say the least.
Definitely. This look into ninja, Hands of Death, gives a unique, intense perspective on unarmed combat. The anatomical detail, the speed focus, the sheer brutality of some techniques, it sticks with you.
Totally. And while we could argue forever about the practicality or the ethics of actually using this stuff,
Just studying it offers this fascinating, maybe unsettling window into human vulnerability and, well, the extreme end of martial arts thinking.
and it is important, like you said, that even in this book full of violence, there's that thread about avoiding conflict, force as a last resort.
Yeah, it raises questions about the mindset behind it all.
Which brings us to a final thought for everyone listening. Considering the incredibly detailed, often gruesome nature of what we just discussed, what does that tell us about the historical world ninjutsu came from? What was the mindset, the why behind a system like this?
It's definitely something to mull over.
And this was just one part of the book. It's packed with more of those submission holes, the deeper philosophy. Maybe something for another deep dive.
Could be. There's certainly more to unpack.
Well, thanks for joining us on this pretty intense exploration into the world of ninja and kata dante.